Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am scrapbooking this photo of myself and my friends at Creativation. We had gone into a restaurant one night and had our server take a photo. So I'm going to be using a couple things. I pulled out a couple paper pads, I pulled out a couple stamp sets, I pulled out some nice acrylic words, and I also pulled out a stencil. So let's see what I can do. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead and pulled out a bunch of 6x8 papers. Now I picked this 6x8 paper with the green tone on tone because originally I was going to use a chicken wire stamp set, and I thought that it was a close enough match to kind of like repeat the shape somewhere on the page. Didn't end up going with that stamp set though, but I kept the paper because the colors worked out great. So here we go. I am using this St. Bernard paper, and I'm trimming it down to just give me one section of the blue. I decided I really didn't like the super light blue, so I went for the medium tone. I am cutting a fishtail banner into the paper right there, and I know that you can fold the paper in half and cut it, but for some reason I just can't do that. I don't know if I'm having a mental block or if I'm just a doofus with a pair of scissors, but marking it and cutting it works a lot better for me than it is to fold it and snip it. I know I've been told fold and snip multiple times, but guys, seriously, there's a mental block there and it's just not happening. I feel like I have something in my eyeball and I can't get it out. That was a totally random comment, but my left eye is sitting here crying while I'm doing this voiceover, and I don't want anybody to think I'm like really crying for sadness or crying from joy. My eyeball is just crying, and you might not even be able to tell, and if you can't, I'm just told you that for no good reason. But you know, sometimes the mouth just runs. Okay, so I've stamped it down now. I did use my Misty stamping tool, and the Misty stamping tool is an awesome tool for you to use if you just need to go ahead and restamp. It's a lot easier to line it back up than it is if you were doing it with an acrylic block. Now I thought about bringing in those wood veneer circle frames just because they are new in my shop and I think that they're adorable, but on this layout they just didn't make it. Which is a shame because I really like them. Okay, so now I grab a little bit of a border piece right here, and I just go ahead and stamp it up here at the top. I'm just bringing that black color a little bit more into the layout because I did do this big, bold black title, so I'm just making sure that I have black throughout the layout as well. Now, I love me a colorful layout with pops of black or pops of white or pops of both. I just think that it turns out to be something pretty special. I do go ahead and what am I doing? Oh, I'm messing with the stamp set. I'm putting the stamp set back together. The good thing about the Close to My Heart stamp sets is they come in these fabulous packaging. Like it's a good solid packaging. It's not cheap, you know, packaging that kind of falls apart. I am going to go ahead and wipe off my stamp block. I just use a microfiber towel that I got from Brutus Monroe. I just really enjoy it. So I have this stamp set from Fancy Pants, and I don't think it's a photopolymer stamp set. I think it's an acrylic stamp set, just the way that it feels. It feels, I don't want to say cheap, but it feels kind of cheap. It doesn't feel as high quality as the other stamp sets I have. So I cut out this kind of speech bubble out of the 6x8 paper pad, and then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp up the hearts. Now, as you can see, it did not stamp well, and I do have to go over it multiple times with the acrylic block, which is definitely a lot harder to do than being in a Misty stamping tool or any other kind of stamping platform that you might have. So I go ahead and grab the little version of the hearts as well, and I decide to stamp those around. And I keep tapping it over top of the ink pad because I'm really trying to get better coverage, and I'm just not getting the best coverage on it. So I have these Nouveau crystal drops, and they are in Morning Dew, so they dry clear. And I'm thinking about it. I'm actually on a Zoom call with some of the scrappy ladies in this photo, so I'm talking to them while I'm doing this, so that's why there's a little bit more futzing around and kind of moving stuff around than there is in my videos normally. So I go ahead and outline the hearts, and I also fill in some of them, and this was probably not the smartest move to do. I probably should have waited to go ahead and do these at the end, but I didn't because, you know, I don't do things in order. My brain kind of works like squirrel, and you're like, what? And I'm already on to the next 7 things. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that where I put all of these hearts on, it no longer looks like a speech bubble. It kind of looks like a balloon. So I'm thinking about bringing in balloons somehow on this layout. But in the meantime, I decide to grab a stencil, and this is from the this is the diagonal stencil from the Scrapping Reflection shop, and this stencil is a prototype stencil. It is cut out of a thinner material than what I actually use in the shop. But I figured, you know what, I can use the prototypes, no problem. So I just go ahead and grab my Pink and Main blender brush, and I grab some light pink Close to My Heart ink. I'm really loving the Close to My Heart inks lately. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but for some reason they're just filling my need. And then as you can see, I peel it up, and it has just a little touch, a little kiss of the pink color over top of that pink dot paper. So I go ahead and get basically my layout put back together. I'm being careful not to touch that Nouveau crystal drop stuff. And now I start going into my die cuts, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world I'm going to do and what in the world I'm going to use. Now, I loved this little camera, did not like the paper clip that it was attached to, so I just cut that off. And I really feel like in the photo, this chandelier that was over our table was a lot of fun to look at and make comments about. But in my photo, it's really distracting, so I'm going to cover up a good portion of it. I am digging into my die cuts. I have the, what's the pink paisley birthday collection? I can't remember what it's called. Hip Hip Hooray, maybe? I don't remember what it's called. So I have those die cuts, and I also have some Rosie Studio die cuts. I have this balloon, and it is a true balloon that says "Looking Good Girl." So I decide to overlap that over the heart, so it kind of looks like a balloon is coming out, and then we have a balloon at the top. Now, as I'm sitting here and talking about this layout, I'm realizing I did not put any string around my balloon. Now it's just a matter of figuring out if that's going to bother me enough that I need to go put string on the balloon before I put it into the layout. It's almost the end of the month, so I'll figure it out before the layout goes into an album, or at least into a page protector, because I don't have albums for 2020 yet. I just have a bit of a shelf that has page protectors of layouts in it, because, you know, even if I don't have the albums, my layouts got to go in the page protectors. We're not just going to like sit there and have piles. It stresses me out enough that I have piles for a month, so I can do a layout chair and put them all away at once. So now I'm just trying to figure out where I am going to build up the florals. I really liked that circle and the color that says memories, but I really do have a hard time with using words that are cut up and, you know, they're kind of vertical like that. It stresses me out. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's in it, and it's not so bad for when the words are split apart at their natural break. So like each syllable. So adventure, like ADVENTURE. T-U-R-E. Like, I can accept that more than adventure if it was A-D-V-E-N-T-U-R-E, because that just does not naturally break. It doesn't have the flow. So that, I can't handle that. So anyway, that didn't make it on the layout because I didn't like the way that memories looked. So now I am pulling out some Chit Chat word stickers. I think they're called Chit Chat word stickers or Tiny Type or something. They're little word stickers. And these are phrases. And I just flip through and I'm bringing in the black color yet again because I have the black stamping going on and everything else is very colorful. And I'm just picking out some ones that I think are appropriate. They're not going to be exact, perfect matches. There's nothing in this little Tim Holtz book that says me and the girls had dinner at the Strand at Creativation. Like none of that is going to be in that book. So I just went through and picked things that I felt would work. And as you can see, the chicken wire didn't make it. And I was like, whew, done with that, and slung it off the page. So I got up and got this little Gina K stencil, and I am using that same blue color that I used before, and I'm just going to stamp Hello Friend. And I really like how the hello kind of nestles in next to that heart, which is next to the tab. So I grabbed the two little heart stamps that came with the Hello Friend stamp set, and I'm just going to add them in as well and see how much better those stamped than the other hearts. That's why I think that the other stamp set I used is not photopolymer. I'm pretty sure it's just an acrylic stamp set, and you can tell the difference. Like you can definitely feel the quality difference in the stamp set and how they stamp. So I am just going a little bit nutso, just putting these hearts all over the page because I figure I've already got a lot of hearts, so I might as well add some more. Hearts are one of those things that I think can go about just on any single layout. Like you don't have to justify a heart on a page. You can just pop it down there. So while I'm looking at this layout, it is definitely bugging me that that balloon does not have a string. I did not end up using those acrylic words, those little flat acrylic words from Jelly Bean Soup, but I do go ahead and add the date, and then I add a few lines of journaling, just writing everyone's name down. And that is going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, leave me a comment if you'd like to chat, hit subscribe so you don't miss any other videos, and I will see you again real soon for another video.